said that Medicare, there's a 48-hour rule that normally you cannot bill after that. Would you then bill the patient?
No. Nope. Cannot balance bill those patients like that.
Which hospital are you with?
I got both. I got the NCH downtown and the one up here at North. So
And where is your office?
I'm downtown in the Telfer building. So just across the street, there's our educational physician lounge and physician library, and all of our education rooms are over there. My office is in the Telfer building. It's an educational building. So, all right. Anything? Yeah.
Just curious about if someone comes to the emergency room and is considered observation for a night, leaves, and comes back in a day, 2 or 3, back into the emergency room. There's repercussions there as far as payment to the hospital. And so is that always then considered an outpatient for that person? Like if they had a bleed and it wasn't found, if they had an altered mental status from a bleed or from sepsis. So I mean, they're going to keep coming to the ER.
Right.
But are the implications to the hospital is that they're going to have to pay for that, right, versus the family or Medicare?
No. Well.
If they didn't find it.
No. What you're hitting at, and this is a way of Medicare putting in quality. And I hate to say it like this, and so I don't really mean it. I just this is just an analogy I use. But really, if you take your car down to get something fixed, and 2 weeks later the same problem is there, do you want to pay for it? No, you want them to fix it. You got, look, I brought it in, and this is the problem. And 2 weeks later, it's still not right, so I'm not paying for it. That's what Medicare says. So if you come in, and this is across the United States, and you come back within 30 days with the same problem, Medicare does not pay the hospital. No, you don't pay the hospital. Who asked the question? No, you're not paying the hospital.
So the hospital's eating it.
Hospital is eating it. That's what Medicare, that's quality piece that Medicare says. Do it right. And what does that prevent? That prevents the hospital from going, let's get you on out of here faster than you need to be. So, there's checks and balances there. Yeah.
So they were in the emergency room, then they were put in observation, then they were released. Now, a week and a half later, they're back in the emergency room. Are they now back in observation? And back in,
Now, what would
is the
determine
differentiators here?
what would determine whether they're observation or inpatient? Huh? And based on their condition, right?
So Dexter, we had a wonderful phone conversation where you explained this, but
Yep.
I think it is an important piece that we go over, which
Sure.
we didn't go over today.
Okay.
The attending physician writes the doctor's orders. Many people will think, that's my ticket in. As long as I look for that doctor's orders, now I know that my mom or dad is now an inpatient. But we discussed that other part, that review process that occurs. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So let's say the doc, I think you're having a heart attack. We're going to put you in as an inpatient. But turns out you didn't. You had reflux. Would you expect Medicare to pay inpatient? No, because Medicare doesn't expect that either. Medicare expects the hospital to look at that and go, wait, whoa. Here, look, this was reflux right here, and we're getting ready to leave, right? You came in at 8 o'clock at night, doc wrote, heart attack, do the testing. Turns out you just had upset, whatever, now you're going home within, 16 hours. So you review that through those two independent docs, and go, look, doc, this definitely shouldn't have been inpatient. The doctor has to agree to that. If the doctor says, no, that's inpatient, and I'm not changing my mind, there's not going to be a bill. Okay? That's the review process required by Medicare. But if the doc says, yeah, okay, I can see it should have been observation, your status can change. But you'll have somebody walking in going, look, we originally thought you having a heart attack. That's not, you're getting ready to go to the house. Medicare will not cover that. Do you see why? You see why? No, it's just that you're getting it now. You're getting it right. You're getting it right for your payer because Medicare requires that. They require that. That's to keep abuses from happening, where physicians just say, "Oh, make everybody an inpatient," and instead of paying Medicare, Medicare paying the hospital $1,200. Well, for that little bit of stay, we'll pay the hospital $5,000 or $4,000. See, that's to keep that from happening, and you getting your big bill. So, like on that, your ob stay, your charges on that might have been, $200. But if that doctor had admitted you as inpatient, that would have been $1,200 to you. So there's no gaming it. It's getting it right by the condition and what Medicare will pay. And the bill just comes out to what it is. Does that make sense? That's just how you have to look at it.
So the doctor could write inpatient, but then it does have to undergo this formal review process.
Every single Medicare patient gets reviewed, even if it's after, you came in. Let's say you came in on Saturday night, you left on Sunday, you can still be reviewed on Monday.
And if it's questionable, you'll have two doctors look at it. If they both say, no, you shouldn't have been admitted, this should have been observation only, then you're saying the next step is they go back to the admitting doctor and try to get him to agree. And if he doesn't agree, you stay as inpatient. And if he does agree, it's switched to observation.
Stay as inpatient, and if it's not appropriate, let's say the physician says, I don't care. I'm going to keep as an inpatient. I don't care if they stay here for 7 hours. I'm keeping them as an inpatient. And the UR committee looks at that, and those two physicians look at it, they talk to that doc, and they say, there's no way that Medicare is going to cover this. There's not going to be a bill for that patient. There's not going to be a bill for that patient.
And the doctor will lose his admitting authority.
Well, we'll have some education with the physician, and that's how you typically do it. But that's why you have that process, so they can have that discussion. Those physicians can have that discussion, and it happens. It's happening as we're sitting here. It happens as we're sitting here. And I'll have emails to answer about these exact questions. Yeah.
If you're, say, within 5 hours of your 3-day cutoff,
Yeah.
do you try to work with people or maybe keep them past that midnight?
It's very specific. I could show you Medicare's.
If you have a drainage tube or something you're going.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You
if you.
might need some care
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. If you can justify it,
Not me, doctor.
the doctor can justifying stay, but you can't game the system. It's very clear. It's like listen to me. It's just like doing your taxes. All right? You can do whatever you want to, but if they look at you, do your review on you, you're going to get caught. So you cannot play with federal money and federal guidelines. You just cannot do it. So if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. You can't monkey around with it, all right? Because they're going to catch that. They will catch that. And today, now, the computer system, I'm telling you, they take those claims and look at, here's the day of the inpatient, and there's a certain discharge code. If you go home, if you go to a SNF, if you go to rehab, there's a specific code that goes on that claim. 03 is a SNF. 06 is a rehab. 01, you go home with nothing. All right? There's certain codes. They get those claims and they pull every 03, and if it's 3 days, if you stayed right at the 3 days, they want those charts to review because they suspect fraud. How could you just stay for 3 days? Just stay for 3 days. They want to know. And
3 days is 3 midnights?
3 midnights.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be 72 hours. If I'm admitted at 10 o'clock at night.
That's right.
As an inpatient,
That's just the rule. That's the CMS rule. That's the rule. 3 midnight.
it could be 50 hours.
Yep.
So if everyone will look under their seats, they'll find their quizzes, and you can't leave until you pass the quiz. Thank you, Dexter. It's been fantastic.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Very good. Thank you.